Welcome back to the channel. Today we are on the roof dealing with a problem that I have been trying to solve for a couple of years now. Let me show you what we've got, and we're going to start tearing some roof apart. This section of roof up here that is shaded, I've cut some of the branches back because it was some of the branches were getting pretty close to the roof here. This shaded area could be part of why this is leaking. Those of you roofing experts out there can let me know if I should cut this thing completely back from the roof or not. But essentially we have a leak somewhere right around here. I went in the attic and looked underneath, and right where this all comes together is where it's leaking. It's somewhere right in here. I thought maybe it was leaking from the side here, so I did a bunch of patchwork last year, and it was fine throughout the winter. And then in the spring we got just the right rain. It's like a long drizzle, and it starts to leak again. I can see it's dripping through the drywall in the room down below. I'm going to start taking shingles back and taking this apart here on the ridge, and I'm going to see what I find. I can usually, on the plywood or on the OSB that's under there, I should be able to track where the water damage begins, and that will kind of tell me where it's at. Without knowing that much about roofing, I do know there's a leak and I need to fix it. So I'm going to start tearing into this and see what we find. Well, what have I gotten myself into? This is the beginning of the wet spot, but it looks like this has been an attempt to repair this has already happened, because this is OSB, this is newer. This is the original plywood they put on here in the 70s probably. They don't often use actual plywood anymore. This is also wet up here, what seems like from this drip edge, and I thought that they put that ice and water shield rubber coating all the way up the edges like this. It looks like they did not do that here, and I mean, it just rained yesterday. This is wet. This is wet. It could have had multiple problems here. There's maybe water coming in from this edge. This drip edge isn't working right, so as the water beads over the edge of this, it's getting underneath here somehow. That's possible. Certainly a mess, and it looks like it's down into this area here too. So I'm gonna have to tear all the shingles off this whole section and then keep going up. Probably take a couple off here and keep working my way up until I don't see any more water. And it looks like I'm gonna have to come down all the way over to the edge here. So I might have to come down this whole section. The hardest part is getting started once the shingles are off. See, I wrecked this one. I wanna, wherever I wanna stop, I wanna not wreck the next shingle, obviously, because I'm gonna slide one underneath it to continue coming down or make my connection back up here. Once you have one of the layers of shingles taken off, it's now very easy to just pull the nails out. The nail here, nail here, nail here, and then this next shingle will come off. So it's easy to work down. It's hard to work up. What a mess. Well, it looks like over here is good, so I'm going to stop going over any further than that. This is all bad, and it looks like it's run down here. This is all bad, and I even found water down here underneath this. This is all wet under here. However, it was leaking in here. It was just running down all the way down here, and this wood is all rotted, so I'm going to need to come all the way down further. This is all a mess. I can't tell what was happening here, if there were several leaks or if it was all done this. I just can't tell. But obviously this all needs to be replaced. I'm gonna need to go down a few more. I'll come over here a little ways more. I'll go down that way. The water wouldn't get under there because it's sloped this way and down. Something with this edge. Water's running down this edge, this drip edge, and it got right under the roof right there, I think. I think that's what was happening. And then somehow it was getting in underneath the top here. I don't know. I was luckily able to find at Home Depot what I think is an exact match to these shingles, so they probably bought them there. I've got some of that roofing membrane to put down there. Just need more time. But what a disaster this thing is. Let's get another day. We'll get out here and get this finished. So up to this point, I haven't showed too much specifics on what I'm doing. So here's what I have learned. So I'm trying to just get to all the wet spots and rotted spots clear of shingles. And the shingles obviously come in long pieces. I think they're about 36 inches long or something like that. And you have to be really careful. There's a tar strip underneath the bottom edge of the shingle here that's gluing it to the one below. So I've tried to come out here. When it's hot out, it's real hard to get them apart without wrecking the shingles. And I only want to take away the bad ones and leave good ones that I can tie back into. But my challenge has been not wrecking the ones next to it, the bad ones. This shingle is nailed here at just on the tar edge, on the stick edge, just underneath the lip of the next one. So it's got a nail underneath it here, but then there's a nail underneath the next one up here, which also catches the edge of this one underneath it. So you actually have to lift up, you have to free, what I mean by that is you have to get that tar edge up 2 courses above where the one you want to take out. I think I'm going to be covering a lot of this here on the edge anyway, but essentially if you start on the edge and you kind of work your flat bar up, and then once you get to another one, you got to work it from the bottom. And you got to be gentle because if you pry too hard, you're going to poke a hole through this shingle, and I want to keep this one. And then, of course, you've got nail holes that some stuff I'm going to have to use a little bit of tar on, but I'll get some of these nails out from underneath. I have found that keeping the bar, it's angled up, so keeping it up a little bit like this helps you from not digging in to the tar line here, because if you get underneath the tar too much into the next shingle, you'll peel it right out of the next shingle, and then you'll have to take another course off. So trying to take off the least amount of shingles as possible, and then I just kind of work your flat bar up underneath. Now we got that one out. kind of wrecked the edge of this right here. And this is what keeps happening, is sometimes that tar is really stuck there, and if I don't get it just right, I'll peel the tar edge off. So I'll probably take this one off anyway, but some of these I've been leaving, and I can tar that up. Well, that one came off a little nicer. Well, this is what we've ended up with. A giant gaping hole in the roof. I've cut out all of the stuff that I saw water spots on, all of the wood that was soft. This is looks like 1/2-inch plywood that's on here. I've got some 1/2-inch plywood to replace this, and I think that the problem was, I'm not an expert roofer. I did have a friend of mine, Jeff, come over and give me some advice. He's got a lot more experience with this than I do. Let me show you from another angle here. It looks like what was happening, the problem was all right here, where these 2 or 3 different angles come together. You have the angle of this roof, angle of this roof, and the angle of this roof coming together right in this spot. And it seems like this drip edge was allowing water to get underneath down here. It looks like it was leaking right here, which leaked all down this side of it here, and it also allowed it to leak down on this side here. I just don't like how the 3 of these come together, and with the drip edge being like that, I don't know. Even putting the water and ice shield all over everything, I don't know if I like keeping it this way. So I'm floating around a couple ideas. I think to resolve this, although I don't think this would be what the experts would do, I'm going to match the angle of this roof. I'm going to actually notch out that, and I'm going to come out. And so I'm going to try to make basically this roof come all the way out to here and slope down. So I'll have this slope all the way up. I'll rebuild this here. So we'll have a flat wall here and then a flat wall on this side. And that eliminates all of those problems. So we'll have a little wall here and a little wall on this side. It won't be too tall, but it's going to be a lot more work. But I definitely think that's what's best. So I'm also going to marry some scrap 2x4s to the sides of all of these that got water damage on them, just to beef those up. And I overcut my plywood on the other side there, so I'm going to put a 2x4 on the inside of that to make sure that's got good support. So we'll beef this up a little bit, and we'll just kind of redo it. And I mean, I know that will solve the problem. It may not look cool, but it's gonna not leak. That's what I care about.